Hello everyone, it's Elliot here, and yes, I have another Criterion Collection haul video for you today. In case you missed my last video on the channel, I was recently in New York City during the 50% off Barnes & Noble Criterion sale, and I managed to pick up quite a lot of films while I was there. If you haven't watched that previous video, do go and watch it. It's a bit of a travel vlog where I take you around the stores and show you some of the things that I love that were on the Criterion shelves. So yeah, do go and check that one out. And while you're there, or while you're on the channel, I did also recently make a almost 3-hour-long video going through my entire Criterion collection one by one, talking about every single title. And I think people have been enjoying that, so do go and check that out after this video. Anyway, on to the good stuff. And it's going to look quite embarrassing how much I actually bought during this sale. But I did know about this trip to the US well in advance, and I had been saving for it for quite some time now. I actually bought 40 titles in total. That's 40. I know that's a lot. So I'm just going to try and rattle through these and just give you a bit of insight into why I have picked up some of these films. So first up, a fairly recent release, Pink Flamingos. This is a John Waters movie, and it's one of the few of his that I haven't seen. It's also very well known as being one of his most over-the-top films, so I'm very intrigued about watching this for the first time. So yes, looking forward to Pink Flamingos. I also picked up 2 titles from Alfred Hitchcock. So I got Foreign Correspondent. This is one of his early 40s American movies that I didn't have in the collection. And then also The Lodger, which is one of his early silent movies. And it's also got Downhill as well, which is another feature directed by him. So yeah, those were just 2 to round out my Alfred Hitchcock collection, which I think now I have pretty much all of his films. I picked up Miller's Crossing, the Coen brothers movie. I didn't have this on a normal Blu-ray. I haven't seen it in years as well, so I wanted to pick this up. Even though I've heard controversially the Coen brothers did edit a scene in this without letting anyone know, it isn't listed as being a new cut of the movie. So that's a bit sneaky for Criterion not to mention that this film had actually been changed since previous releases. I have a 4K title now, The Virgin Suicides from Sofia Coppola. Very interested in revisiting this one because I haven't seen it in a very long time. And quite a surprising one to get a 4K release from Criterion. I guess it must have been a big seller when it was on Blu-ray, and they just decided, yeah, let's go with this as being one of our first 4K titles. So yeah, looking forward to revisiting. I picked up The Celebration, Thomas Vinterberg's Dogma film, and I love the packaging on this. It's very much in spirit with the Dogma movement. So looking forward to watching this on the Criterion Blu-ray. Another 4K that I picked up, The Piano, Jane Campion's movie. Beautiful movie. Absolutely loved this one. With that iconic piano score. And I can't wait to see what it looks like on the 4K disc. I also picked up The Human Condition, Masaki Kobayashi's epic story, which most people watch in multiple parts, because if you don't, I think it is 9.5 hours long. I already own this on the Arrow Academy disc, and I'm not really sure I needed to double dip on this, but this was definitely one of those impulsive decisions where I saw it on the shelf and I thought, you know what, Kobayashi, a filmmaker that I love, and I think his films are so powerful that let's just have another copy on the shelf. Another 4K title, and literally one of my favourite movies of all time. I'm not kidding when I say that, because I know people make fun of me saying that an awful lot. But this is genuinely top 3 films of all time for me. The Red Shoes from Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger. I can't wait to revisit this on the 4K disc. I would have picked this up sooner if I didn't know that I was going on this trip. I just thought I'll just save a bit of money and I'll just wait a tiny bit. So yeah, can't wait to rewatch one of my favourite films on a 4K disc. This next one was actually a recommendation from you out there. Quite a few people on the channel had commented recommending this one to me, and it's Streetwise. I don't actually know an awful lot about this, I just know it's a very highly regarded documentary. So that is definitely one I'll be watching soon. Another recent release, The Flight of the Phoenix. This is a classic movie, very enjoyable, very easy to watch on a Saturday afternoon. So yeah, this will definitely be on my watch list very soon. I picked up The Girl Can't Help It. This is one I haven't seen, but I'm familiar with some of Frank Tashlin's other movies, like Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter, and that's a brilliant movie about advertising, and it's very colourful and zany, so I can't wait to check this one out. I picked up Tunes of Glory, the Ronald Neame movie starring Sir Alec Guinness, one of my favourite British actors of all time, and I can't wait to watch this and see what the 4K restoration is like. We have another 4K release. It's The Last Waltz, the Martin Scorsese concert movie. I haven't watched this in a few years now. The last time was on the Eureka Masters of Cinema disc. So I'm intrigued to see how a concert film translates to the 4K format and see if it's actually worth the upgrade. But it's one I wanted to have in the collection, so here it is. This next one is one of my favourite 1950s sci-fi movies. It's The Incredible Shrinking Man. This is from a new 4K digital restoration compared to the Arrow video disc, I think, which I do own, so this is a double dip. But if this turns out to be an improvement, then I think this is the one that will be staying in my collection. I also got The Ice Storm from Ang Lee. I've had many people recommend this one to me and I've never seen it. So I've heard many good things, and I'll be watching this very soon. Another quite recent release that I got is Chan is Missing. I don't know much about this. I've heard some people talk very highly of this. I know it's a very important film for Asian American filmmakers. I know it's got those noir influences in there. So this is one that I look forward to watching highly. This one had been on my watch list for some time now and I've never seen it. It's Adoption. All I know is that it's quite a serious drama, but a very moving film. And to be honest, I want to become more familiar with Hungarian cinema. So this is going to, get the ball rolling, and I might check out more of the director's works after this one. Who knows? But I'm looking forward to finally seeing this one. Next up, I picked up Frank Bozagi's History is Made at Night. Haven't seen this one as well, and I just got very excited when this was announced to come to the collection. And I've heard many great things, so like many of these titles, I can't wait to finally watch it. I also have Love Streams, the Cassavetes movie. This one is not included in the big box set, and it also isn't available here in the UK on Blu-ray. So I've wanted to get this for quite some time, so I'm glad to finally have it. Again, from some of my favourite filmmakers, I have The Tales of Hoffmann from Powell and Pressburger. This is one that is a double dip, admittedly, because I have the UK Studio Canal disc. But for some of my favourite filmmakers, I just like to own multiple copies of the movies, especially when there are some different features across the discs, which I think there might be here. And there's an audio commentary on here with Martin Scorsese, so I'm looking forward to listening to that very soon. I think I'll talk about these next two together. So I have The Beatles' Hard Day's Night on the 4K disc, and I Wanna Hold Your Hand, the Robert Zemeckis movie, obviously about Beatlemania. So these, I might watch these back to back. That could be an interesting night's viewing. There's not much more to say about these really. A Hard Day's Night was actually instrumental in actually making me appreciate the Beatles even more, because growing up I didn't actually listen to the Beatles all that much. And it was through this movie and the soundtrack for this film that then got me looking through their entire discography and listening to all sorts. So I'm a much stronger Beatles fan now because of this classic movie. Another Ronald Neame movie that I picked up is Hopscotch with Walter Matthau and Glenda Jackson. I haven't seen this one, so I can't really say much about it. I do love this artwork though on the front. Very evocative, very what would you say, caricature-ish? Is that a word? Like a caricature, basically. Yeah, can't wait to watch this one. So I did manage to get The Worst Person in the World on the Criterion Blu-ray. I love this film. I saw it when it came out in the cinemas earlier this year, and I just thought it was just such a great film. It's a very interesting film because it asks a lot of questions and doesn't really give many answers, which I think is a great sign of a good piece of art. So I might be talking a bit more about this film in detail on the channel soon, but I'm looking forward to watching it at home and just revisiting the whole thing because it's a brilliant piece of modern filmmaking. I picked up Moonstruck with Cher and Nicolas Cage. Classic, enjoyable movie for me. Absolutely love this film so much. I know a lot of people scoffed when this was announced to come to the Criterion Collection. Some people just don't want to have fun sometimes. Even if you think this is not, one of the pinnacles of cinema, I think it's still a very enjoyable movie, and I question when people say they don't enjoy it at all. It's just easy, fun watching. We come to a big one now. Double Indemnity on 4K. What a classic movie. Absolutely love this. Seminal piece of film noir. One of the absolute pinnacles of the film genre, film movement, whatever you want to call it. I cannot wait to see what this looks like on the 4K disc, but I am expecting good results. This next one is also a recent release, quite a new film, and one I know very little about. So this is a true blind buy for me. And hopefully it's going to be a very good experience. It's, I don't know how you pronounce it, actually. How embarrassing. Is it Amorphe or Amorph? Called, Amorph, This Is My Desire. Sorry if I'm butchering the title of this film. But I will report back when I have watched this to let you know what I think of it. Another recent release that I have never seen, so I'm looking forward to watching soon, is Rouge. I've heard many good things about this film. So yeah, I'm thankful that, it's available now on Blu-ray and is quite easy to watch. So I'll be watching this very soon. Okay, we're still going. We've got a few more, so I'll get through these now. This one is another 4K release, one I've not actually seen as well. Bong Joon-ho's Okja. Very intrigued about this one. I know this was a Netflix movie, and it's one of the now many films that have come from Netflix to the Criterion Collection. So I'll be watching this soon. Yet another 4K disc, Le Cercle Rouge, Jean-Pierre Melville's classic movie. What a film. And I'm looking forward to watching this again. This is not the first time it's been on a 4K Blu-ray. It was released by Studio Canal here in the UK. And it was quite controversial because I believe that the new colour grading on the 4K restoration is, one of those where it's tinted green and doesn't quite look right, which is a bit of a saddening trend when it comes to these modern restorations. I think this is the same restoration, so I'm not expecting any different. But I'm glad that this film is now back in print within the Criterion Collection. And yet another 4K disc that I picked up, For All Mankind. One of the greatest space documentaries of all time, for sure. Maybe even actually the greatest, what am I saying? I can't wait to watch this again. I haven't seen it for many years. And I do already have the standard Blu-ray disc, so I will be replacing that. I also picked up Tony, the Jean Renoir movie. Renoir was one of the masters of all time. Absolute incredible filmmaking. And this was one of his mid-1930s movies. And this is from a 4K restoration, so I'm intrigued to see how this one looks. I picked up Walker, the Alex Cox movie. And what a filmmaker and what a film lover Alex Cox is. He always, reignites my passion about cinema if I'm ever in a bit of a lull. I just listen to him talking about movies on his Movie Drome introductions, or one of the many commentaries he's done on spaghetti westerns, or I watch Repo Man or whatever. He's just always a good way for me to get reinvigorated with this hobby and interest. So I'm glad to have Walker on Blu-ray. I picked up Heaven Can Wait, the Ernst Lubitsch movie. Lubitsch, again, one of the masters of cinema. absolutely essential. I want to own every film that he ever made, so this is getting me closer towards that goal. Monsieur Klein from Joseph Losey. I've talked a lot about Losey on the channel recently with The Servant and a few other films of his. He's just one of the, I'm not going to use the word underrated because people don't like when I use that word. He is definitely not as well known as he should be for this period of filmmaking. What he made in Europe and in the UK during the 60s and 70s, just great movies. So yeah, if I can get more people to watch Joseph Losey's movies, that would be a good thing. And we have another 4K, Shaft. Classic blaxploitation movie, such good fun. What more is there to say? And I love the cover artwork on the Criterion release, so this gets a big thumbs up from me. Just a few more to go now. I'll do these next two together. I got the World Cinema Project from Martin Scorsese. This is box 2. And I also got volume 3. I don't even own volume 1. That is one I wanted to actually get at the same time, but they didn't have it in stock. So that was a shame, but I'm glad to get these 2 boxes. There's a few films in these sets that I already have on some other Blu-rays, but the ones that I don't have are worth buying these sets for alone. So ones in particular like Law of the Border and Taipei Story, and which one's from this one? After the Curfew and Downpour. These were ones that I don't think you can get at all in the UK on a Blu-ray. So that's why I picked up these 2 box sets. Very happy to have them. And then we come to the final item, the last and the biggest thing that I picked up during the sale. It's this, the Agnes Varda complete box set from Criterion. This has been out for a while now. It's been a few years, I think. And the only reason I hadn't picked it up sooner than this was because I'd had some pretty bad experiences importing big box sets from the US to England. You know, often I'd get them and they'd come all battered or ripped or dented. Sometimes the discs inside were damaged as well. And it's been fine in the past because you can send them back and get a refund. Sometimes they send a replacement and the exact same thing happens. So I just said with this one, I'm just going to wait till I'm actually in the US and I can pick one for myself and I can ensure that it gets home safe and sound. So thankfully with this, there's like very minimal damage to the box. It's actually in really great condition. The films themselves and Varda herself, I've not seen all of these, I'm not going to lie, but the ones that I have seen, you know, she was a great filmmaker. Such a unique spirit at the time of the French New Wave, and her relationship with Jacques Demy is fascinating and looks like a very lovable relationship. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to watching more and more of her films, and it's great to have them all in one place. If you enjoyed this Criterion haul video, then please watch the video that's on screen right now. It's my entire Criterion collection, almost 3 hours long, so you can get lots of recommendations and inspiration from that video. So do go and check that out now. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.